do you see a peaceful resolvement of like how they can get this Dak deal done? Because it does seem like it got to the point that even if they do sign Dak at this point, that even if they give him the contract that he wants, that because of the negotiations and everything that has happened, will they, like, is there a way that you think everyone will be happy?
Yeah, as soon as that deal gets done, everything that was said before that is kind of forgotten because they both come to a very, very wealthy agreement with each other. I think it is a very interesting situation that has seemed to have, brought the swords out more as opposed to put the swords away. But by all accounts, all information, both sides have said, wait until about a week before this franchise tag has to be signed, because whenever that takes place, that is when the negotiations will always happen. Michael Lombardi told us a story about how whenever you go and try to do business in another country, I forget what it was, maybe Japan or China or something like that, he said they don't start negotiating with you until about an hour before you have to leave for your flight to take off. And that is not a business move that they use. That is a business move that a lot of people use, because then there's a shot clock. Then they know that there's a point of desperation. And I think both sides are going to use that franchise tag designation time, which I think is July 17th. Oh, man, there are so many dates in July. I hope I got there. If I just pulled that one out of my ass, I'm going to be very pumped.
I'm looking.
Oh, no.
So
15 to 17, maybe in that
27.
range.
I don't know. I think it's 17, I think is what it is. There's a lot of dates.
July 15th.
Ah, son of a... And Price is right. I overshot it. But by July 15th, if by July 8th, when the MLS comes back with their 54-game tournament, let's assume that last week there, while the MLS players are locked in their hotel rooms, playing games, locked in their hotel rooms, playing games, locked in their hotel rooms, Dak Prescott's team and the Dallas Cowboys team are going to try their best to get something done. They said there hasn't been a lot of conversation, to be honest, between both of them. They're going to kind of wait, I think, until push comes to shove. And if a deal gets done, all the BS of the past will be forgotten. This is Dak Prescott's team. Let's move forward and try to win some games. Jerry Jones said his hands don't get cramps writing checks. And I think July 8th, that final week before Dak Prescott has to sign his franchise tag, we're going to learn a lot about that statement. You already signed Zeke. You already signed Andy Dalton. Mm-hmm. You already signed Amari Cooper. You already signed Jalen Smith. You already signed offensive linemen. You've already signed a lot of people. Now will you be able to get the Dak deal done? Everybody thinks nothing's going to happen until that final week before franchise tag, and I fall in that same boat because neither are motivated to get the job done at the current time. Now, I took a lot of pride in our show being the only show that didn't talk about Dak's deal every single day. So the fact that we just talked about it for the first time in a couple of weeks, I'm a little bit bummed about. I was going to see how long we could go. Mm-hmm. But when somebody calls in and asks a question, we have to give them the answer because we're a sports show.
Yeah, it's not
for the people.
Do you think Zeke getting COVID-19 impacts anything in any way?
I think Zeke's medical information getting leaked impacts more than Zeke getting COVID-19. I said this yesterday off air. I feel like we're just going to have to get to a point where we understand that people are going to get COVID-19. Yep. I think a couple months ago, whenever somebody got COVID-19, it was a big deal. It was almost like you were alienated from society. You were judged. I think we're going to get to a point where it's like, okay, they got COVID-19. Let's handle it. We know the precautions. Let's take care of it and let's move on. I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal. Public, no. What would that be called? Like socially. I don't think it'll be as big of a deal socially as it was or is right now, because I think there's going to be a lot of people that get COVID-19. I think as we continue to open up, I think the stats are showing that. I think the tests are showing that. The more tests we have, obviously, the more cases we're going to get. But I think we're going to become a place that's just like, yeah, COVID-19 happens, and we're just going to have to figure out how the long-term effects are, because every other Twitter thread you read about it, you're like, oh, I'm dead. Oh, okay, I'm not. Oh, I'm going to die. Oh, I'm not too. Oh, I'm going to. I think once we figure that out, I think we'll be much more likely to figure out how everybody's going to view this. But I think more people are going to get COVID-19 than we think.
Well, once we get to a vaccine, too, it kind of changes the whole game of the
COVID and who knows when that's going to be. I guess
if that happens.
Oxford potentially has one in the pipeline.
Oxford.
But UPMC allegedly had one there for a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of places that have allegedly had a potential vaccine. But then there's a lot more questions behind that.
Yeah, does it work?
I mean, there's a full... We got to get to a break. There is a full conversation behind the vaccines if you go down and write Twitter threads as well.
Yeah.